for you today. We're going to talk about a number of examples of how the products can be used. And we're then going to bring up our team and do a question and answer period with Amanda from TechZulu. And then we're going to allow all of you to potentially ask questions. We wanted the speakers to go first because we just wanted them to be able to talk about what's going on in this community. Today is not just about Tracky launching here in Las Vegas. Today is about a community that's come together. And it's such a wonderful community. Jennifer and I have been here for over 14 years. And we were here when the bubble burst. And Vegas was being built out as the next, sort of Silicon Valley called the Silicon Oasis. And we saw that come and go, and we've seen other organizations try to get momentum going. But what's happened in the past year, it's not only very cool that, as Rick was saying, 200 to 500 startups, and there really is something happening. It's the quality of the people and the community that's been built here. And it really plays in well with what my passion and my vision is of not just making connections, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, or whether it's Twitter. When you're at an event like this, who's here right now? Do you want to stay connected to these people after this event? Do you want to build real relationships? Who here can help you? As Sarah was saying, I've been working with Sarah for quite some time now. I don't know very many people that have such an engaged audience on Twitter or other social media platforms as she does. When she talks about something, people really listen and they really care. And it's because of the quality of the time and effort that she puts into things. Those are the types of people that you want to meet and you want to build quality relationships with. But so often we go to events, we might connect or follow on Facebook, but we really don't take it beyond that initial surface level relationship. And I've always needed a platform like that. I'm going to talk a little bit about why we built Tracky and where it came from. And today is the final reality of our dream and our vision that's been worked on for a year and a half. And I thank you all so much for coming here. It's a super exciting time for us to actually, in front of you, land a major account, on the day of our launch and have it streamed live. That's wonderful, and I thank Jerry so much for that. I could spend the next 2 hours just thanking everyone, but I do want to highlight a few individuals. Rob Roy is such a great mentor and such a good friend. On Sunday, he called me and he talked to me for almost 3 hours, just trying to encourage me, just trying to say, hey Dave, what you're doing, it can have a big impact. This is how we see Switch potentially using Tracky. We have 4,200 or 4,600 people who are now aware of what's going on in Las Vegas, who are part of the SuperNap. Disney, Pixar, Google, the list goes on and on. And those people are now coming to Las Vegas and becoming aware of this community. And Rob says, how can we use Tracky and customize features and products in Tracky in order to help this community really know what's going on? He's always thinking about community. What's so wonderful is making a facility like this available. I think Mike Yoder, you tweeted earlier today, you said, I think deck 10 of the Starship Enterprise or something like that. I totally think that this is an incredible facility. And for a small startup company in a small tech town, so to speak, Las Vegas, for us to be here in front of the world now, it's an incredible opportunity. Their team here at Switch, I've never worked with a more professional team. A team that is so well trained, so respectful of Rob and his vision of service to their clients and to this community. It is an absolute honor and an absolute pleasure to know them. And I can't thank them enough. I would all really appreciate it if you give them a round of applause. There's a lot of very exciting things that Switch is working on with the governor, and they'll be announcing in the next few months. And as has been said by our speakers, Jennifer and I, we really do try to get involved and help out and support as much as possible. We've been working on Tracky for a very long time, but yet we've tried to get involved and do as much as we could, not expecting anything back, but it does. People recognize it, and they want to help out and give back. So we're so thankful for that. Obviously, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, people that are providing the food and such for the event. Later this evening, the after party, Sammy's Wood-Fired Pizza, the Las Vegas Distillery. If none of you have been to the distillery yet, it is one of the most beautiful stills in the world. And it's just over in Henderson. George is a phenomenal guy. I hope you'll all try to meet him tonight. Wonderful, wonderful person. And they'll be showcasing all of the alcohol that they distilled there. So it'll be a great event this evening. I hope you'll all attend. Also wanted to thank Silly Bands for donating the wristbands that all of you will receive inside of your gift packets. Also wanted to thank Michael Wardle, who tonight at the event, in order to showcase a little bit of art, not just technology, but he's going to be doing an abstract of the Tracky logo. So I hope you all come out and watch him as he does that. It's a huge 4x6 canvas, so it's going to be big, and we'll be using that in our office and displaying that behind the front desk there. So really excited about that. Hope you come and see that. Sorry? Right, and tonight for the desserts, Retro Bakery. We've been bringing cupcakes to every tech event that there's been, month after month, and they graciously provided the desserts tonight. So I thank all of them. So let's give all of our sponsors a round of applause. And tonight, the event will be held at Entrepreneuria. It is the former Mike Tyson mansion, so we're really hoping that all of you afterwards take some photos at the step and repeat wall that we have at the back of the room. Maybe take a look at Tracky. We have a screen where we're demoing the product, and if you'd like to take some photos of that, we would be able to make that available. And then have some more snacks and such. And then migrate over to the mansion. So far, I think we've had between like 350, 400 people RSVP, and I think a lot of those people it's like a +1, so we'll be bringing a guest as well. So it should be a pretty cool event, and you'll be able to see what Dominic is doing there. He's donated the home to us free of charge tonight for the use, and he's making that available for other tech events if they ever need it, or you're doing your own launch or something like that. So we're very pleased with that. All right. One thing before I get going more on the technical side is I would like to thank my wife. So, very graciously, John Lynn wrote an article, and he thanked us for what we've been doing. But I must say, my wife is such a supportive, wonderful person, and we would not have been able to make this company or launch it without all that she does. So I just want to thank her, and I would appreciate a round of applause. One of the things we always say is, even though we work together all day, every day, and we spend all our time together, we say that we don't have enough time with each other. So it's a wonderful, wonderful relationship. Now, the other people that I would really like to highlight today, people that I've known for a long time and been good friends, and have supported me in all of my craziness, they are our initial investors. They're from Toronto, Canada, and they've come down today to this event. Each of them has invested almost $250,000 into Tracky. One of them invested his initial amount, $100,000, before we had even incorporated the company. And it is these type of people who see the dream and the passion of a young entrepreneur and get involved and actually write those checks and make things happen. So I'd really like Jake Rump, David Rump, and Klaus Klaver to stand. And I'd like you all to just notify them and give them a round of applause for investing in Tracky and helping make it get going. These people are my friends, and they believe in what we're doing. And I'm so thankful to all of you that are starting to use the product, to actually give them the verification dedication and the validity that Tracky is something that can scale. And it's such a wonderful time to have them here in this launch center and be part of this. It's the culmination of everything coming together. And I'm very hopeful for other Vegas tech startups to be able to have the same sort of journey and the same support and the same participation from such great people like them. All right. I think I thanked everyone. I hope I thanked everyone. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. So this is an awesome day for us. I'd like to now show you Tracky. I'm just going to give a real brief background about why we created it. Jennifer and myself, Anita and Andy, our other team members, we've been in the search engine industry for over a decade. Vortal Optics, one of our companies, was incorporated in 2000. And we basically build custom vertical search engines on demand for topic-specific applications, for geolocation-specific applications like local search. One of our largest customers was the third largest property management company in the world. And they ordered 30 different metros worth of local search engines, and we would plug them into their apartment websites, usually on the residence corner of each of those websites. And what they wanted was restaurants, grocery stores, schools, golf courses that would come up in the search engine that were in closest proximity to that physical building that everyone was living in. We would then have to tour to the various cities and train 150 plus managers per city on how to use the product. Because what it did is it reduced the workload of those managers literally becoming concierge individuals that were always catering to the requests of the people that were moving into town and moving into the apartments and such. We were having to interact and communicate with so many different people in so many different parts of the world, and there was no single platform that even inside companies was standard. Emails were crazy. It was just almost impossible to manage. So one day, Andy, our Chief Technology Officer and lead software developer, blew my mind, and he put together a mock-up of a social collaboration platform. And the moment I saw it, I was like, okay, I think we just pivoted. And from that day forward, we started to build Tracky. So that is basically the background of where the product came from. When we started to actually test it with our current customers, everyone loved it. Everyone understood it, and they saw the value. So I'll now go ahead and show you what Tracky is, walk through a demo, explain it better, and then we'll go to the question and answer period. I'm just getting over a cold, so a little bit rough day for me. And Tom, if we could bring up the browser. So as has been said a little bit today, it's about connecting with people, then instantly being able to collaborate with them, and hopefully get things done very, very quickly and very easily. In a social type of environment or way that's similar to Facebook and similar to Twitter, similar to these systems that have been developed and have kind of pioneered or re-educated us on how to get things done in a more entertaining way, something a lot more fun way. We also wanted it to be something where it wasn't just for business. It could bridge both personal and professional tasks. And you could plan things like a wedding, you could plan a family reunion, a family trip, you could plan a party or an event, and you could use it for business. And that way you could jump back and forth between one group and another in order to be able to manage everything that you do in your life. Don't quite know why the browser isn't showing up yet. Oh, we're getting there. Okay. So Jen, you could probably just log in. You can use mine. Do you want me to log in with mine now? All right. Let me see a show of hands real quick. How many of you have actually seen our video or watched our video? So most of you have. Okay, and we won't go through that. One of the things to note here as Jennifer's logging in, and if you just pause here for a moment, you don't necessarily need to log in with an account or even set up an account. We wanted to make it so simple that all you have to do is click on one button and you can instantly become part of Tracky by just clicking that button. It will pull in profile pic or avatar. It will pull in your bio. It will provide or pull in any kind of information that comes from that account that you're using. And so you have instant access to be able to get going and using Tracky. What we wanted to do was model Twitter. We wanted to model a popular interface that was training everyone on how to socially collaborate. So we went with a two-column universal interface. On the left-hand side are basically what we call tracks. And a track can be anything. A track could be a bit of information that you've seen in the social space. It could have been an article that someone tweeted about. And you now want to share that out with your team. Or you want to catalog it or store it for future reference or research. It could be a task that you're working on. It can be some information about a URL that you want to share with someone else. So it's not just a project management tool. It's also almost like an advanced bookmarking service. On the right-hand side, you have the people that you're connected to, and the green dots signify who's online and who you can actually start to instant message with. And then you've got the groups that you're a part of. And again, when you think of traditional project management systems, you basically buy it for your team, for your company. And it's restricted to anyone else having access to that. But really what you want is a platform that you can connect anyone to and connect on any project or anything that you're doing. If there's a launch event going on and you want to join that group, you want the same platform that you can do that on. If there's an event in your local community like LaunchUp or Mobile Monday, you want to be able to be a part of that group, see who's attending, see who's involved, and not have to leave a platform. So in some ways, it's kind of like an advanced Twitter, where we might be using hashtags for topics or themes or events. But instead with this, you can join a group and be a part of that entire event or whatever's going on. And Jen, if you'd like, why don't you just click through some of those different groups to show how you can be jumping back and forth from one event to the next. And it shows, for example, there's 83 people inside this group, right where Jennifer's mouse is right now. And these are all the people that help with these local events here in town. And part of Startup Weekend and Mobile Monday and LaunchUp, they're planned using the people from the community who help to come together and collaborate and get involved and volunteer to participate. Digital World Expo. Sean's here today, who runs Digital World Expo, and he helped to plan and coordinate that last year. He'll be doing the same thing this coming year for his annual event that's coming up. So let's just go back to the homepage now and actually enter in a track. So that's the basic concept. You've got your stream of tasks or tracks. You've got the people who you're connected to and the different groups that you're a part of. So Jennifer's entering Launch Tracky, almost like entering in a tweet. You're posting a tweet. She's going to create that, and it resides now or hovers at the top of your stream. And you can start to modify that. Because she's on her personal profile, and this is where the personal and the professional components come in, it designated that track as a personal track to her. But she just was able to immediately change that to make it a Tracky project or a Tracky track. So you have the ability to say, here is my to-do list or shopping list or grocery list, and you can insert your individual tasks, or you can bring them into a different group or a project, all seamlessly within the same interface. And as you see, she's doing things like adding keyword tags to it. She's bringing over other people that are now going to be directly involved with that task, and they will receive a notification via email, or they could choose other ways to receive it, and they can choose the frequency of how often they want to be notified. And then now they know that they're part of this track as well. As we do this demo, some of them may actually go online and start to have a discussion with us as well. So we're bringing in different elements of different technologies, such as a Yammer, or a Dropbox, or Skype, and various fragmented systems that are very popular and wonderful tools, and try to combine them all into one platform, as well as having you be able to manage your personal and your professional tasks. Anyone else make a comment? Yeah, so Dan, Dan is too handsome for lunch. Please mute his lips, that's great. Now, Jen, if you'd like to drag an attachment, maybe there's a PowerPoint or something like that on the desktop, or even any of our team members, if you'd also like to add an attachment to this track, that'd be cool. Not only are things like discussion threads real time, but also attachments will be real time. So if anyone adds one in, you're going to see down here at the bottom of the screen where the attachment numbers, and the member numbers, and the subtract numbers come in line. And then everyone who you're working with or collaborating with, they all have access to those resources that you're sharing. And I'm going to have Dan come up a little bit later and actually talk about an example of that. He's working, creating his own movie production studio. And as you can imagine, with that type of an effort or initiative, there's so many people involved and so many individuals collaborating at the same time. Not only can you see these inline attachments and inline discussion threads, but if someone could put an attachment inline with an actual, just close that out, with an actual discussion thread. So someone actually put an attachment there. And what we're finding is people use it for revisions, X number of revisions of a document, and you can almost have a timeline now of this was the first draft, everyone talked about it, here's the next draft, everyone else talked about it. And in the moment, it's fantastic, it works very, very smoothly, it's very fast. But on top of that, anyone else can join your project at any time, and then they can go back and very easily look at these streams of discussions and attachments and revisions and get instantly up to speed. Try to share your Skype conversations from 3 weeks ago with a new team member. Try to forward them all of your emails about a project, especially if it's a global project, a massive construction project, or a movie that's being developed. And try to bring new people up to speed. Hey everyone, forward all of your emails from the history of us working on this project, and let's try and get this new team member up to speed. This allows people not only to have fun while they're engaging and working on a project, but it enables anyone to be brought into that project at any time and very quickly be brought up to speed. So we're really, really excited about it. Any other features that you think I should highlight before I go into a few examples of how it can be used, Jen? Yeah, see Dan here, he's now instant messaged Jennifer, and similar to sort of the Facebook instant messaging system. So really simple, totally seamless, collaborative product. If you look at this group, she's in Tracky, and these are all the subgroups. So you have marketing, advertising, sales, our launch event today, and all the planning that went into it, we use Tracky to do. So not only do you have groups, but you have subgroups of those groups. And you basically can go any level deep that you'd like to do that. So in addition to an example like Jerry, that we talked about earlier, 4 million people, when Jerry says, go to my website, comment on this bit of information I put on my website, and what we're building for Jerry, he goes in, he inputs a track, he uploads any attachment to it, and this is all connected with RSS as well. So you can take any track you want and push it to a website. The widget or the element that will be on that website allows all of the users to instantly start to communicate, just like you're seeing here now, but it will be done on the website. So Jerry can tell his listening audience, come to my site, here's what I just talked about, get engaged, tell me what you think, and the whole conversation can begin. He can then identify the people that participate most and ask them to be involved at a higher level. invite them into groups, specific groups, help them to find content, to report on content, and get involved at any level he wants. So it's taking it beyond just initial connections or people listening, and now they're actually able to get involved on what they're passionate about. So that's one example. Walls 360, obviously here in Las Vegas, most of us know what that company is. Stuart printed up all of the stickers for our Step and Repeat, as well as all our Tracky badges. Huge supporter of Vegas Tech and everything that's going on in the community. Phenomenal, phenomenal company. John, what he's doing and the licensing that he has for all the celebrities, everything around the world, it's pretty amazing. And when they produce fine art wall graphics, there's always a discussion thread that goes on between them and the client that needs the logo or the sticker or whatever that's created. They've used 4 different project management systems, and they have thousands and thousands of customers. No one, there is no one out there that universally is on one platform. And most of those platforms, be they Basecamp or other, they're difficult for your clients to integrate very easily and seamlessly into. There is a steeper learning curve than Tracky for those types of platforms. So Walls 360 now has the ability to create a group for their client, upload the first draft of the logo, invite their clients in individually, ask for their input, have that discussion, go through the revision stage, and come up with the final logo. And everyone is on the same page instantly, all at the same time. And it's the simplest thing that they've ever been able to use. The pricing model for them, it's one thing I haven't talked about yet, but anyone can be on Tracky for free, and you get up to 5 different groups that you can be a part of until there's a cost. And the cost is only $5 a month per user. It's a consumer product. It's not an enterprise product. We're hoping to follow along the line of Skype a little bit more, where it became so largely adopted, it was brought into the enterprise. It wasn't something that corporate demanded their teams to use. And with our model, Walls 360 can create groups for an unlimited number of customers for their small fee that they pay us. But those unlimited number of customers can each be involved for free. So it's something that doesn't cost any of them to be connected with Walls 360 and work with them on that. I think that's pretty exciting, and I think that that's a great way to get the engagement that's needed. So pretty much everyone is on the platform, and then over time, if they like it, they can then start to set up their own groups and use the product in their own enterprises if they wish. So that's kind of our revenue path and our marketing model. And so far, we're so excited about the engagement we've had with our users that have signed up. The traction's been pretty amazing. And it's one of those types of models that, 5 people are in there. If they only invite one more, it just starts to mushroom or explode. So we're very, very excited about that. Now, a couple other examples. As I was saying, movie studios, and we'll talk to Dana a little bit about that. There's Walls 360, Jerry's account. One of our very first customer is a church organization. They're a global group. And obviously budgets are tight. Communication on a global basis is difficult. And what they really wanted to do was bring in all of their members and engage all of those members on one platform. They didn't want it to be a top-down organization where just the leaders of the organization were dictating everything that should be done, planning all of the events, writing all of their literature, working on their website. They really wanted everyone to get involved, from something as simple as planning a potluck at one of their weekly get-togethers, or something as major as maybe a family weekend somewhere where all the members would attend, or an annual conference. And the ability to invite everyone in and make that possible, there really wasn't any platform that they had ever known of or used, although they've used things like SharePoint and Project and Basecamp and these systems. There's always a fear and an issue when you're working on your internal team and you're trying to bring in other individuals. So let's talk a little bit now about the public and private components. You demonstrated that. So as Jennifer did, she turned a task and made it public. And that's, I think, really, this is going to be one of our hurdles. This is going to be a barrier for us. but I needed it, and I wanted it, and I think it's very important. I don't want to put something in a calendar, have email, have spreadsheets, have a project management system, have a document storage system, all fragmented, all on a different platform. And I also don't want for it to be difficult for me to push out tweets or push out things to my social networks. I wanted a single source where all I had to do was make whatever it was that was in my schedule. I'm going to lunch, I'm launching a company, whatever it is that I'm doing, when I want to share that, I now have, with one button, the ability to push it out and make it public. Not only can it then be pushed out to my social networks, but anything on my public profile. When you come and visit Tracky/David Goss, you'll see my tasks that I wanted to share with my outside audience. Most of us every day are doing things that really matter, things that are great. When Colin was producing our video for Tracky, he was working with some amazing artists producing the soundtrack for the background music. The animation that he was creating and the style that he was developing for us was really, really beautiful work, and it was very exciting for us to see. And all that was going through my head was, wow, there's an entire world out there that would love to watch as Colin goes through this process. What he's doing automatically, what if there was a way that he could just share that? So every time he's given us a document and shared it with us on Tracky, I could make that public and make that available to the entire audience that would want to see it. So there's this element of what you do every day that really matters, things you're already doing, but most of the time we don't tell others about that because it's difficult to push it out there and share and always be pushing information to our social networks. Tracky makes that seamless, it makes it very easy. And why that's important is because most systems, like let's use LinkedIn as an example. When you look at a bio of someone on LinkedIn, how long has it been since that's been updated? Do you really know what that person is engaged in? Do you really know what their background is or who they're working with? In this startup community, things are happening so quickly here in Vegas, it would be difficult to sort of gauge who's who and what they're doing and how much they really are involved if you just relied on some of those systems. But with Tracky, you could find out exactly who was here at this event. You could find out who you might be able to go to or invite to your future event sometime because you know that these people care about the community. They want to cover an event like this. They want to support the local entrepreneurs. And that's a big differentiating factor between others who may or may not have been here today for whatever reason. So it's a great way to find out right then, right at that moment, who you want to connect with, who you want to build meaningful relationships with. And it happens just because of what you're doing every day on a regular basis. All right, so Dan, if you don't mind, now's when I'd like you to just come up a little bit. I really love Dan's story. I'm really, really impressed with Dan. If you will tell a little bit about your background.
Let's look it up.
And just the passion that he has for Tracky, he would not have come over to our team if he hadn't been using it and liked the product. And I really found that the project that he was working on is something that's really easy as an example that could resonate and let you all sort of understand how the product's capable of being used.
Okay. So David's being generous in terms of saying that it's a production house. Basically, Screen to Play is a launch that we did in the last couple of months. I'm just a crazy film fanatic. I'm a huge fan of just film, and I decided that we're going to just try to get people together and try to make things, and we'll see how it goes. But it's actually really difficult to organize that type of content. So what I really loved about Tracky and what I resonated to it is that I'm able to work with people all over the world all at the same time. And we don't have this feeling of like being a slave to the email where somebody uploads something and they expect a response or they can't take action until somebody responds to that email. Instead, everything is in the tracks on Tracky, and we have multiple film projects all being listed on different tracks. Each film project has the team that's on there. So 2 specific projects have different teams of animators, writers, producers, marketers, biz dev types, and they're all doing their part. They're seeing the progress. They're seeing the different versions of the scripts. So you'll actually see a story go from a paragraph to a storyboard to a full script. You'll start seeing the animations come in, the different versions, and everything you can look back. So you can see where changes are made and when things were added or subtracted. There's no more of this like using Pages or Word document and tracking changes. To me, that's a nightmare. So instead, we tell the teams, guys, if you're going to delete something, delete it. If you want to add something, add it. We have a new version saved every time, and it's all in Tracky, and you can always go back. So there's no fear that it's not going to be there. The other great thing is that when you're working with people in Hawaii, California, Las Vegas, New York, Boston, and Florida, all at the same time, you don't have this feeling of, man, I just emailed the storyboard, I want to hear their reactions before I can move forward. We give deadlines using Tracky all within the calendar system, and so that everybody's got their deadlines, everybody knows who the lead is on the project, you can check off once you're done. So it's like, Dan, you owe version 7 of the bunny script. So you do version 7, I upload it, I check it. Then Murray gets a ping and says, okay, storyboard concepts now need to begin. And so he'll begin drawing, and when he uploads them, he checks it off. And then the next person's like, great, cool, I can start layering in my animations. And this is all without a single email being putting in place. That type of speed, efficiency, management, and just lack of worry about technology is, I can't even explain how excited I am at what this product is going to be and the types of things that people are going to do with it. So yeah, in terms of a film standpoint, I'm definitely no expert, but if you're trying to manage a lot of projects, it's quite seamless. So okay, so we can do a quick example. Let's go down a little bit. So we have a couple of projects.
I'm going to interject something real quick as well. If you notice when we first came up, Jennifer, in those tracks, they were not viewable by her when she was first showing the group. But then they allowed her access, and instantly she was then able to see all of those tracks, which allows her to instantly start to collaborate. So it's a good example of how you can bring someone new into your team and immediately start to get them collaborating and up to speed very quickly.
So the other cool thing, and this is really kind of minor, but I love it. So here, let's go to the second one. Let's close that one. Can you do the view in browser, or that one? Yeah. You don't have to download anything. You just can look at stuff. So like these are our 2 characters for an animated feature of a sketch 1. But the speed of being able to, like, when I'm working on another project and I know that Nuri uploaded a concept, I don't have to download it to my folder on my computer, which then I have to figure out what folder it goes to and then all that. I literally just view it, say awesome, write my notes in the discussion, next notes, and we move forward. And you can see all the difference. So like if you want to view a browser, one of the PDFs, you can see like the most recent script. Yeah, it doesn't matter. View in Google Docs. Again, you have the option to download anytime, but there's the script right there. And so the different animators can read and look at the updates, change the storyboards and the visuals, and we just keep moving forward. So the fact that the technology gets out of the way, I think that's the best part about what Tracky has to offer.
Awesome. All right, Dan, thanks so much. So we're so excited, and Dan is similar-minded. He saw what was starting to happen from a creative standpoint as different people got into the product and started to use it to collaborate. We are so excited as a team as we now open up the product today for the first time, where anyone who goes to Tracky can instantly create an account and start to use the product, invite others into the system, and start to actually engage with others, meet people in your local community, look for other local groups that are within a specific geolocation that you're interested in, find those groups that exist, request to become part of those groups and get involved, meet other doers that are in your community, and find out how you can help or you can get involved, which is kind of the theme of what our launch event was today. So we're so excited to finally release that to all of you and to the public. We're so thankful for all of you to be here and to see what Tracky is at this media event as we launch the product publicly. We've had thousands of users already sign up. We've had accountants that have signed up, thousands of users. Jerry Doyle's entire audience now has the ability to start to get involved as we plug it in to his website. And we're really, really excited to see what will happen with our platform as we scale and grow it over time. So thank you all so much for coming today. Really appreciate it. And I hope that we'll have you come over to the after party. Tom, if you'd like to put up the, actually Jen, you'd have to go out of the demo and let Tom take over and go back to the PowerPoint. And actually, did we not include it? All right, well, in your welcome packets, in those gift bags, I believe there's a map, right? From how to get from here over to the Mike Tyson Mansion. And that you'll join us for the festivities. We have 4 DJs that are going to be spinning tracks tonight. One of them is Doug Berta, who's here. He's a local Vegas tech supporter and an attorney, so it's pretty crazy, pretty cool. Hope that you'll come and enjoy that. All the food and the Las Vegas distillery showcasing the spirits that they're distilling here locally in the valley. Thank you so much for your support as a community, and just really appreciate you taking the time today. So thanks so much. Let's bring our team. Tom, if you've got a couple of those handheld mics, you can bring them out. We're going to just have a little bit of a question and answer period where Amanda from TechZulu will ask us some questions. And I would just like to, thank our team. It's an epic group. And Ben Brimhall and Freddie, if you're here, I'd like you guys to come up as well. They handle all of our servers that are here in the data center. So just kind of go through it. Obviously, Jennifer Goss, she is our Chief Marketing Officer. Andy Edinburgh is our Chief Technology Officer, and primarily responsible for all of the code. Anita is our shareholder liaison and is also a certified project manager, so helps with all of our clients and training them on how to use the product. Colin Pope, responsible for creating the Tracky video, and we'll now start to work on all of our videos that are tutorials, how to use Tracky, how the product works, and other examples of how it could be used by anyone for any type of project anywhere. Evan Nagel, he is another one of our developers, but is also an award-winning writer, so he helps us with all of the copy and the newsletters and the blogs and the communication about the product. David, I'm going to say David Chat. David Chat is a UI UX expert and is helping us with the revisions on all of the UI that we showed you today. Mark Johnson here at the back, local from Las Vegas here. He's the one that created our new user interface. There was a more basic, more rudimentary version 1, before what we showed you here today. And Mark, has gotten incredible rave reviews with this next version that he helped us work on and create. Mike Manzano, also local here to Las Vegas. I think he's the best mobile app developer in the Valley, and he's created our mobile app, which, by the way, I didn't mention, but Tracky does have a mobile app. And I think tomorrow version 2 is going live, or should be approved in the App Store. Jason Lovelady, he is our CFO and COO, and he obviously is responsible for all the financial aspects and such of the company. And then we've got Dan Zeltman, who has recently joined the team and will be heading up sales and marketing and such for our company. And I didn't mention Colin already. So thank you all so much, and this is our team, and I'm so thankful to all of them. Amanda, do you have any questions for us at all?
Oh, come on, do I? Well, first off, I'm so happy that we could be here. Efren Toscano and myself, he's the CEO and COO of TechZulu, and we can resonate so much with what everyone here is feeling because we come from the LA tech community, and we were born out of a need to sort of put LA tech on the map 4 years ago. And when we first met David and Jennifer, it was here in Vegas at PubCon, I believe, is that right? And the enthusiasm that just came out of these two people was infectious, and it really reminded me of when we first started bringing LA Tech back. And so TechZulu was sort of born out of the need to put us on the map, and we picked up a camera and said, if nobody else is going to cover us, we're going to create our own media outlet. Right. So, I encourage all of you, if there's a space missing, whether it's media, whether it's a certain type of startup, whatever it might be, fill that gap. And so, we're now, I think we're live streaming about 7,000 people at least right now.
Oh, that's
so round of applause for all of you. People are paying attention to Vegas Tech. So it's much more than the people in this room, the people in this community. I remember when we started, we had people from Silicon Valley coming down to help us establish things and to really kind of, get the rallying cry going for us. So we are so honored as TechZulu to be able to do that for you.
Thank you.
And you will see more people from LA. You will see more people from other markets coming here, getting excited and really rallying around you, because that's what we're about, because it's a much larger community than each of our individual bubbles. So that aside, one thing that really excites me personally about Tracky is that there's so much you can do with it. As entrepreneurs, everyone in this room, I'm sure, can attest to the fact that your personal life and your professional life, as you being married doing Tracky, understand,
right.
They meld, they mesh, they kind of go over one another. So that alone, I think, resonates with many people. But the first question I have, when I look at Tracky, it sort of reminded me of Evernote. When I first saw Evernote, was the possibilities of what you can do with this. So speaking to like an Eric Ries and the lean startup method, what were those initial features that you put into the product and then maybe let the community run with to see what else they would want to add? What were those basic features?
I'm going to let Andy answer that. Put you on the spot.
Well, am I on?
Yes. Just hold it close.
So I think the very initial things were just the ability to quickly enter in things that needed to happen and really quickly and easily, convey to someone who wasn't using the site where I was in a project, and the things that were remaining, the things that were really high priority, but just the quick, seamless ability to do that. One of the things that I've always wanted Tracky to be able to do is to be able to manage things without me having to manage it. I didn't want to have to managing.
Which is where a lot of project management tools fail.
Exactly.
Big FAIL.
Exactly.
So did you get a lot of feedback from the Vegas tech community? It seems like obviously many of the groups that have been using the product so far with their beta testing are the Vegas Jellies, the Mobile Mondays, those sorts of organizations and groups. Have they been the ones to really give you a lot of the feedback for the additional features you've added?
Go ahead, Jen. You can answer that.
They have, Amanda, and it was really exciting because we actually alpha launched the product really early on last summer at the first startup weekend that happened here in Las Vegas. And we were approached by Shavana Tiara, who's a doer. Shout out to Shavana, and she's one of the doers in the community. Along with so many others, Dylan Bathurst and Zach Ware and other John Lynn, other organizers of the first startup weekend. So we were asked to kind of talk about our startup, and we were just barely ready to get the product out there at that time. But because of launching at that event, we did set up, a group for Startup Weekend. And, it just gave all of the attendees notifications like, hey, you should be reaching this goal by this time, and check these things off as you go along. So that's kind of where it started in the local community, but then it branched out from there. And it was really great because the next event, I think, was a launch up. And Stuart Christensen, who's the organizer of those events, he started utilizing Tracky to get the PowerPoint presentations and to make public announcements about the event and the time and the location. And all those things that you normally do with maybe email and text and MailChimp and all these great systems, but it's hard to manage all of it. So then the growth started from there with Mobile Monday, and we have a number of local groups, whether it's development groups or designers or the people that collaborate on some of the various things that happen down at the beat or UserLib, they're starting to use the product more. So yes, they have been the early alpha users, beta users of the product, and giving us a lot of feedback. And so it's great because not only is it coming through the tool, but as Paige talked about, some of that face-to-face communication that happens as well.
Absolutely. I think it's just a great example of the online facilitating the offline, which is a huge thing that we're hearing about just in general as journalists these days. And also, you're addressing platform fatigue, pulling everything together into one place, so thank God I don't have to go to a million other things instead.
Exactly.
Interesting, one thing I'm very curious about as it relates to a new community that's starting to grow, and you're trying to find people, you're trying to connect with each other and pull people out of the woodwork, so to speak. You have a great team standing up here with you.
I sure
And
do.
I'm sure that,
Yes.
that they all deserve a crown.
Yes.
Where did you find them? How do you find your people?
Well, we found a lot of them via social media. And like Dan, as an example, when he was mentioning their project that they're working on, Dan wanted to try it out first. And Evan and him are very good friends. And so Evan said, well, here, why don't you use this tool in order to try and collaborate with your team? And Dan loved it so much that he was like, man, I am so excited by this. I want to come over and join your team. And so our team has started to organically grow and expand largely from the use of the product and wanting to be part of this Tracky team. And as I think Dan mentioned earlier, we're from all over the place. And so we
I was
don't...
going to say, I want to show of hands. Everyone in the room, I know it's kind of late. How many people in this entire room are actually from Las Vegas? There you go. So people like to come to Vegas for tech.
Right, absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Exactly. And now we use the tool to collaborate like junkies. I mean, it's unbelievable, the comment threads and the collaboration that's going on as our team, and it helps us from abroad to all be able to
You
stay
eat your own dog food?
Sorry?
You eat your own dog food?
Dog fooding, absolutely.
I'm amazed.
Absolutely. We use the product to build the product. It was
And it's
wonderful.
good.
It worked. It worked.
Well, lastly, obviously we're in this amazing data center. I mean, I'm a cloud geek anyway, so I'm sort of really geeking out about that. And
Yes.
the men that look like they're in spaces. But anyway, so we're in the Switch SuperNet. And obviously cloud computing is a wonderful thing for startups. It's a wonderful thing for entrepreneurs that are just getting off the ground, that may not have the nice guy to write a $100,000 check before you're incorporated. So, how would you say that cloud computing has factored into the creation of and hopefully future success of Tracky?
Does anyone else want to take that? Or do you want me to fill
Let's
that?
talk
Anyone
about
have any
cloud
comments?
computing in general.
Evan, you want to take that? Yeah, let's make Evan
Hey,
talk.
Kevin, talk.
He's brilliant, so I love when he talks.
It's so much pressure.
Everybody look at
I think in general, we're kind of maybe on the team level harnessing that same type of cloud concept, right? We're all
Hold it closer, bud.
I'll eat it. We'll all
Eat the microphone.
we're all in different places where so the movement towards the cloud and the movement towards decentralization is really big for us, and we wanted to apply that same enthusiasm to project management and to the ability to sort of decentralize all of your tasks and work with people who aren't necessarily core on your team, or find people. Discovery is a huge element of what we're trying to do. And the cloud as infrastructure is very, very powerful, and we think that it's also very, very powerful as a mechanism for managing your projects.
I'm going to add a little bit more to that, just to highlight Switch a little bit. This facility has more clouds inside of it than anywhere else in the world. I believe the count now is around 28. So the Joyent cloud is here, HP's cloud is here, Dell's cloud is here. VMware, I believe, has 8 different clouds here, EMC, and the list goes on and on and on. What we have that's unique here, we have our own VMware cloud in our own cage, but we have a cross-connect over to one of Switch's clouds. And as we grow, if we need instant on-demand ability to sort of burst into their cloud and provision servers to handle the growth of our product, Switch has engineered a solution for us that allows us to do that. And the specific cloud that they've allocated to us is like a $13 million cloud that they built in conjunction with VMware. And it is the most advanced cloud in the world. So one of the great things that Las Vegas has at its disposal and as a resource for the startups and the entrepreneurs and the growing community here is this infrastructure that doesn't exist anywhere. And literally, it's like having 28 Amazon clouds in one facility. I've been offered the top brass from Joyent to come and work with our team and see if we might need to migrate over to that new platform and new database system. So those sorts of resources are made available to all of the Vegas tech entrepreneurs, and we're definitely leveraging them and learning with Switch as we all grow together as a community. So super exciting.
So David, what you're saying is that as all of these startups continue to grow in Vegas Tech, then there's the ability for them to scale exponentially when everybody signs up for them.
Unlimited, yeah. And soon I think they're going to take care of beaming us up with transporting and all kinds of crazy
Somebody
things.
has to say beam me up here today. Well, congratulations. I know this has been a long time coming, a year of planning, all starting around the time of Startup Weekend, and such an amazing group of people and an amazing community. So I know I'm excited to check out downtown Vegas. I'm excited to hopefully get a tour of the SuperNap. Hint, 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 hint.
They can make that happen.
And I think everybody needs to tweet out, Facebook, everything to get all of their friends to sign up for Tracky.
Thank you very much.
Tracky.com.
Thank you very much.
And a round of applause for all of these guys. Come on.